What's going on YouTube? It's KevinBo202 and today we are doing a comparison album video. The albums we are comparing are the Marshall Mathers LP and the Marshall Mathers LP2. I'm going to talk about the two albums. I think they are both amazing in their own ways, and I'm going to tell you at the end which one I think is better. The Marshall Mathers LP, released on May 23rd, 2000. The Marshall Mathers LP2, released on November 5th, 2013. There is a 13-year difference between the two albums' release dates. Obviously, Eminem grew older between the release of the two albums, but does that affect the Marshall Mathers LP2 in any form of way? I'll answer that question later. But this is my comparison video of the Marshall Mathers LP and the Marshall Mathers LP2. After Eminem's success and popularity gain in 1999, after the release of his album, the Slim Shady LP, Eminem right away started working on another album. He wanted to prove that he was not going to be a one-hit wonder. With the Marshall Mathers LP, anger was pouring out of Eminem. These are the singles for the Marshall Mathers LP: The Real Slim Shady, The Way I Am, Stand. Later on, I'm Back and Kill You were both released as singles on CD. I mean, I can list all the tracks for you guys and talk about them, but do I really need to? You guys should have listened to the records by now. I mean, the tracks, everything, just amazing. Amazing. He addresses legal issues with his mother, bullshit with other celebrities that were talking about him, people trying to label him, and even his own record label trying to make him produce a hit song, which ultimately led to the release of the singles The Way I Am and The Real Slim Shady, two of Eminem's biggest songs. I feel with all the things he was going through at the time, it caused a lot of anger and aggression on the album. This album had a ton of promotion, a lot of it even being from Eminem himself going on to MTV. During the early 2000s, he was having frequent visits with MTV, and he had his own little specials. For the Marshall Mathers LP, there were music videos for the songs The Real Slim Shady, The Way I Am, and Stand. All the promotion and all the hit singles made this album the fastest selling rap album of all time, selling 1,760,000 copies in 1 week in the United States. It's amazing, and it holds the record to this day. I wouldn't be surprised if the Marshall Mathers LP remains the fastest selling hip-hop album of all time forever. Besides, album sales are pretty much down nowadays, but that's a whole nother story. The Marshall Mathers LP is also the second best-selling hip-hop album of all time in the United States. In the United States alone, it has sold 11 million copies of the album. The Marshall Mathers LP is barely behind an Outkast album for holding the best-selling hip-hop album of all time. Hopefully it'll eventually pass it. Now there are 18 tracks on the main version. The clean version had the song Kim taken out, as making a clean version would probably kind of be pointless, and it was replaced with the song The Kids, which wasn't on the regular explicit album version. There's also a special edition that has The Kids as the 19th track, and a tour edition with 8 tracks, including the 3 instrumentals for the singles, the 3 music videos for the singles, the Danny Lohner remix of The Way I Am featuring Marilyn Manson, and also the explicit version of The Kids. A ton of content, and the album is definitely considered to be a classic. 3 words to describe the Marshall Mathers LP: anger, aggression, and raw. Now in 2010, Eminem released Recovery, which was a huge album. It won a ton of awards and it had really big hit songs. And in 2011, Eminem teamed up once again with Royce da 5'9" for Bad Meets Evil, releasing the EP Hell the Sequel. The song Lighters also was a huge single in 2011, and there was lots of success with it. At this time, Eminem was already solidified as a legend in hip-hop and also one of the greatest of all time, if not the greatest rapper of all time. Now in 2012, Eminem started working on another solo studio album, and he decided it was going to be a sequel to his biggest selling album of all time, the Marshall Mathers LP. Survival premiered on August 14th, 2013 to promote the video game Call of Duty Ghosts. The song was very similar to his songs Till I Collapse from the Eminem Show and also Won't Back Down from Recovery. Both songs have a ton of energy, and both have been used in Call of Duty video games. But the first single for the album was Berserk, which showed Eminem was going back to old school type rap, sounding a lot like the Beastie Boys. Survival was then released as a single, then Rap God and Monster. After all these songs came out, the Marshall Mathers LP2 was released. There are 16 tracks on the regular version, and on the deluxe version, a bonus 5 tracks, making a total of 21. When this album was released, I was stunned. Like the Marshall Mathers LP, anger, aggression, and rawness were present on the album. He had a sequel to his hit song Stan, where Stan's little brother, Matthew, comes back for Eminem and kills him the same way Stan killed his pregnant girlfriend. And then he explosively ends the track with this amazing 2 minutes of just raw flows. It was amazing. There are angry songs, There are storytelling songs, and even some emotional songs. On the song Headlights, Eminem apologizes to his mother. After the album was out for so long, Headlights actually ended up becoming a single. Now, one of the most controversial songs on the entire album, Rap God, where Eminem destroys the song, showing his skill. He's older now, but he's rapping like never before, doing all these crazy flows, rapping so fast, breaking records for how fast he was rapping. It was amazing, and I love the song. He also references a line from his song from the Marshall Mathers LP, I'm Back, talking about the Columbine High School massacre. On the Marshall Mathers LP, on the explicit version on the song I'm Back, there were lyrics censored out because the massacre happened just a year ago, and the labels didn't want him being able to say that, so they censored it out on the album. He doesn't just bring up the lyrics, but he actually says the line that was censored out. This song is incredible. On the deluxe version, also for the outro, there is a skit called Ken Kniff. Ken Kniff was a skit that Eminem used to do all the time on his older records, starting with the Slim Shady LP in 1999. There was also a Ken Kniff skit on the Marshall Mathers LP, so it only made sense to have one on the sequel also. The Monster ended up being the biggest song, though. It had the most radio play, and it was #1 for a really long time. He got a Grammy for it, along with other Grammys for the album. For winning Grammys, he actually did not show up to the award ceremony. Like Eminem said on the Marshall Mathers LP song, The Real Slim Shady, you think I give a damn about a Grammy? He kind of shows that again with not even showing up for his awards, but, you know, he still got them. There were music videos for the songs Berserk, Survival, Rap God, The Monster, and Headlights. The Monster video was very awesome, though, where he actually goes back and reenacts some of his old things that he's done in his career. Stuff from the Slim Shady LP music, the Way I Am music video where he jumps off the building, even his Grammy performance with Elton John in 2001 for the song Stand. And at the end of the video, Eminem goes back and revisits Slim Shady, who's chained up with pills and lyrics laying around. With this part of the video, it lets people know that he is still Slim Shady, but only with the lyrics, not with the drugs. The video was pretty cool because it actually was able to get a face form. It looks almost exactly like Eminem did in 2000. Technology is amazing. Like I said earlier, I thought the two albums were amazing. They both gained Eminem massive success, Grammy Awards, and many other types of awards. They both, in some form of way, have broken records. Now, I explained the success of both of the albums, some of the hits, controversial parts of the albums, and now I'm going to let you guys know which one I think is better. Both singles for both albums were great. The content on the albums were awesome. The Marshall Mathers LP 2, which kind of made me feel a little funny about the album, there were some emotional songs. A few of the examples of this are Legacy, Headlights, Beautiful Pain. Now, I don't think there's any problem at all with having emotional songs on an album, but this is the Marshall Mathers LP sequel. The Marshall Mathers LP was all anger and just ill rhymes, and it was like Eminem didn't even have a heart. I mean, he killed Kim in a song. Come on, guys. He is getting older, and I love Headlights. I really love the Headlights song, and I thought Legacy was also great. Same thing with Beautiful Pain. I just kind of felt like those songs did not fit with the album. This is my own opinion. You guys might think it's awesome, and that's all great and whatever, but I just didn't feel like it fit. But Headlights is an amazing song. I just felt like it might have been better on Recovery. My opinion, don't kill me. If I were to pick the Marshall Mathers LP or the Marshall Mathers LP 2 for being the greater and better album, I would, without even trade of a thought, think that the Marshall Mathers LP is better. Now, a lot of the times, the sequel is not as good as the first, but I'm just saying the Marshall Mathers LP is such a classic. I think the Marshall Mathers LP 2 will be a classic eventually, but it's just the liveliness. Eminem was so fresh at this time. He was trying to get back into the game. He wanted to prove points. Eminem was staying around, and he was going to make sure that you knew it. He wanted to prove things to Dr. Dre. He wasn't going to be a one-hit wonder to him and us, and he wasn't. But he had to prove it with his album. And that Marshall Mathers LP was so controversial. The songs were great. The singles were amazing. Criminal was amazing. And the outro, you can't end an album better than that. Come on. In my opinion, the Marshall Mathers LP is greater. Not taking anything away from the Marshall Mathers LP 2. I still thought it was an amazing record. And I definitely will still listen to both of them. Let me know what you guys thought. Did you guys like the Marshall Mathers LP more? Did you like the Marshall Mathers LP 2 more? Which one did you like more? Which songs and why? I hope you guys don't kill me for this video. I know a lot of you guys like the Marshall Mathers LP 2 more, but I just wanted to share my opinions on both albums. I hope you enjoyed the video, and peace out, guys.